Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to remove and disassemble your striker assembly for your Walther PDP. This should also work for the Walther PDP F series. The things you're going to need to perform this is a 1/16 punch, and you may need a cloth to hold on to a spring. Other than that, that's all you need. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everybody to please subscribe and also tell a friend about the channel. Every subscriber helps the channel grow. Now we got that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So as you could tell, I just have the slide off here. So if you need help getting to this portion right here, click on the link to the top right hand corner. That'll take you to a video just showing you how to field strip your PDP. Once you take the slide off and you get to this part right here where there's no barrel or spring, come back to this video and then follow along. Here is the front of the slide, here is the rear of the slide. You're going to turn the rear of the slide to face you, and then you're going to take your 1/16 punch and you're going to put it into this hole right here. You're going to push downward towards the slide to compress the spring of the striker. And then you're going to take this hand and you're going to grab the back plate, which is this whole piece is the back plate. And you're going to grab it from here and you're going to pull it this way. Just pull it out. Just because you took that out, you want to make sure you keep the tension on the striker and try not to move, and then put your finger back over where the back plate was to release the pressure with the punch. That way, when the striker comes up, it'll hit your finger and it won't fly out of the slide. So I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm taking the 1/16 punch and I'm going to put in this hole and I'm going to push downward. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that with the punch you're not pushing this way on any angles. Keep it straight and go straight downward. So I'm going to put it in this hole. I'm going to push down, and then my two fingers here, I'm going to grab the back plate from this piece right here. Okay, I'm just going to grab it like that and I'm going to pull it out. So again, pushing straight down, pulling this out, putting my thumb back where the striker is, and then removing the pressure of the punch. And now the striker is still captured in the slide. I can remove my thumb at this point and I can push on this piece right here, and I'm going to push that outward. Here's your striker assembly right here. If you happen to get oil or it gets really dirty in this area right here where the stick is pointing, you could get some bore cleaner and run some patches down there. Just make sure that there's no oil in there. Just clean it up. So I'll show you how to disassemble this whole thing too, in case you have to replace any of the pieces in your striker assembly. One thing I want to point out is this red piece right here. So this red collar here is actually two pieces, and they call them cups. And so the cups kind of go on either side, and they form what looks like one solid piece. And the spring captures those pieces in there the way it is right now. So one simple way is you could just take this, put your fingers around below where the red collar is. Below where this red collar is, you can put your fingers on here, and then you can compress downward and then release the cups that way. Sometimes this part on a smooth surface can move around. You could take your slide and you could put the striker assembly in backwards, and basically you're putting this piece into this circle area right here, and it looks like this. So you're putting that in there just like that. It won't go all the way in, it's just going to look like this. Again, this is only if you don't really mind maybe having a little bit of a scratch right over here, right below your iron sights. That's only if you don't mind having maybe a little scratch there, because again, keep in mind this metal piece is going to be right against your slide right here. So, but it will help keep the striker assembly in place and it won't move around while you're trying to compress the spring. Again, this is just something I do. You don't have to do this. You could just take this, like I said, and put it on a smooth surface and do it that way. Or if you have a armorer's block. If you have an armorer's block, this is one type of armorer's block, and it has a section for you to disassemble a striker assembly. So you just put this in here and then it holds it for you. But again, you don't have to have one. You could still do this without having one. This is just how I do it. So again, I put it into the area I showed before. It goes in. Okay, so I changed the camera angle so you could better see what I'm doing. I also took off the black gloves because the black gloves are going to be slippery while we're trying to compress the spring here. And that's also where the cloth comes in handy. So what I do is I wrap the cloth right around below where the red cups are. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it around here like this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch with my right hand, and I'm gonna compress the spring downward. And once I'm far enough down, I'm gonna remove those cups. So let me readjust. I got this just right. So we're gonna compress this down, and now I can remove the cups. So here's the one cup, and here is the next cup. There you go, I got them both removed. And now I can slowly release the pressure on the spring. And again, don't just let it go, because this spring is very compressed and it'll just shoot out across the room. So then I could take this part out and I can remove this spring and put that down. And then what you can do now is you can remove this firing pin from the plastic piece. And how you do that is you have this piece right here that's set into this plastic piece. You kind of want to just ever so slightly kind of bend it downward like that. See how you can get it out in an angle, and then you're going to pull it back out like that. And you're going to slide the whole assembly out of this plastic sleeve, and then there you go. This piece comes off. This is just another little spring, and that comes off, and then you have fully disassembled your striker assembly. All right, now so let's put everything back together. So we're going to take our firing pin and the little spring. We're going to put that little spring, and it doesn't matter which way the spring goes on, it's pretty much the same on both sides. So you're just going to move that back, and then we're going to take our plastic sleeve here, and this part of the firing pin is going to go into the sleeve like this. Notice that this circle area is to the right, while this piece that sticks downward is going to be to the left, and it looks like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the little spring, you're going to move that forward inside the sleeve, move it forward just like that. Now we have more movement with the firing pin. You have more movement. See, it's moving more. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the firing pin to the right, but what you're going to do is once you get this piece right here really close to the sleeve, you're going to angle it a little higher. See, this is straight. You're going to angle it just a little bit. So this way, this piece right here can get inserted into this area of the plastic sleeve. So it's going to look like this. So up, it's getting pulled in, and now you can see that this piece right here is now into this area of the plastic sleeve, and it moves back and forth. Next, what I like to do is put this back into the slide, just like that. Okay, so this piece is on the back of the slide. There's this piece right here, goes into this channel, like that. And it goes in just like this. Just like that. Okay, and that's what the outside looks like. You're gonna put this part of the slide onto the table. We're going to take the spring and we're going to put it right on the firing pin, just like that. And I want to show you a little more detail about these two cups. So you can see, like I said, they're two pieces, and when they're put together, they form this like sleeve. And then the spring goes on the outside and captures them and makes them one full collar. So we have to get these underneath the spring, and you also have to get this part right here under this area of firing pin, because that's where it gets captured. So it kind of looks like this. So it goes around the firing pin, just like that. And then the spring is captured in between this area right here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, like I said, I'm gonna take the spring, put it over the firing pin, just like that. Now, what I do is I take the rag and I'm putting it right at the end of the spring. So this way I have the ability to slide in those cups. So I'm gonna put it at the end. I'm going to compress down. Now notice the spring is past this lip of the firing pin. So now what we can do is we can take these cups and we can slide it in where the spring is. So I got one in. Now I'm going to slide the other one on the other side, just like this. All right, they're in. So now you can see they form one collar, and that's what's capturing the spring right here. Take this out of the slide, and now you have your reassembled striker assembly. Now we could put the striker assembly back into the slide. So how we reinstall the striker assembly to your slide is you take this part of your firing pin and you put it into this hole right here. And this part of the striker assembly gets inserted into this area right here. And it looks something like this. So again, putting that into that hole, And then this piece right here goes into this area right here, just like that. And now it's in. So in order to install the back plate, and the back plate gets inserted back here like this. This part of the back plate right here, and this part right along into these channels. Right here, and right here. In order to do that though, we have to compress this striker assembly downward. Once this is in place and the striker is compressed, we can slide the back plate up and then it goes right into place. Hold the back plate in position like this, then you can compress the striker assembly downward and then this back plate should slide right in. You get your finger ready to push the back plate in and then you should be good to go. It should pop right into place. So I'm going to put my 1/16 punch over this area right here and I'm going to push towards the slide and that should compress this downward. So it's going to look something like this. And now I'm going to start pushing and compressing. You notice automatically this start to slide in. I pushed it the rest of the way and you heard it click. You have successfully disassembled your striker assembly and reassembled your striker assembly. Now that you've finished this, if you need help putting the rest of everything back together, like the barrel, the recoil spring, and the grip, you can click on the link to the right and that should take you back to the video you first watched in the beginning to field strip your PDP. But before you do that, if you thought the video was helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe and tell a friend about the channel. Every subscriber helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.